Oh, we're back from the dead.
Happy New Year. Happy 2020. Hopefully all your holidays are good and dandy and everything. It's been some time. We seem to just do this thing where we just take breaks sporadically. So sorry for the weird upload schedules. We'll try and get better with it this year. That's one of my new resolutions.
And you know how the good way to start a return podcast? Complaining a lot.
Of course! Which brings us to something that kind of got announced today. Well, I don't know if it was announced today, but it was definitely talked about today. Is Pokemon Home, correct?
More like Pokemon. I really want to go home. This isn't fun anymore. Please stop charging me to play your game, Nintendo.
Yeah.
I paid the $60.
Yeah,
In my case, $120.
Yeah, honestly, Nintendo, and I think this comes from everybody. When you make a mobile game, it doesn't have to be a pay to win, or let alone even pay to play the game. I understand that there are elements that you would like to have for pay, and that's fine, but it shouldn't be, hey, give us money, we make you good at game.
Yeah, it's like there shouldn't really be that necessary gap of if you pay us, especially excessive amounts of money, you are guaranteed to win.
Give them an example, if you will.
So,
let's take the Mario Kart one, for example.
Okay, so this is going to be something that I pulled up, or like I really wanted to talk about. So, as of, I think it was January 26th, they posted the sales figures, at least of the global player spending for some of Nintendo's mobile games. And the 6 games that are on here are Fire Emblem Heroes, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, Dragalia Lost, Mario Kart Tour, Mario Run, and Dr. Mario World. Now, looking at this list is very interesting because Mario games are in the bottom 3, and a part of me is glad that these games are, at least as of right now, considered failures. Because, Mario Kart Tour, in my opinion, is very scummy. It is a prime example of, hey, you pay the money and you get the tools that you get to like guaranteed win races. Because in this game, it's not necessarily if you get first, you can get third, but if you fill out certain criteria, like if you're riding with the cart that the game wants you to run, or the character, or the glider, then you get more points, and you get more combos and links and stuff. And so, the game is pretty much saying, hey, buy some of these little like grab bags or sort of loot box equivalents. And you know how every game like this has an in-game currency, like jewels or whatever. So, you get 5 jewels and you put something in the pipe, and something comes out of it. You can get duplicates, so if you have something else, and you have like a very small amount of gems, you can get like a duplicate for a character or a cart or whatever, but you can level them up, which I'm like, that's such a waste.
On top of that too, some of the stuff, it almost makes it feel like you are required to, because if you're looking at the leaderboards, for instance, your cart can only get so many points. Even with the best combination possible, it still is only allowed to get so many points. And because of that, they're practically telling you, like, hey, if you don't give us the money, you're not going to get first place. Or you're not going to be at the top of the leaderboard for that cup. And it's kind of, like you said, scummy. It's stupid. And it just is downright, it almost sounds like it's robbing us, really.
Do you want to know how they handle some, like, new character releases? So, I don't know if you remember this, but when Tour first launched at the end of September of last year, Luigi wasn't in the base game because they wanted to hold him off for the Luigi's Mansion 3 event. So, like, whenever they had certain characters, if you want to, like, guaranteed get them, like, you don't want to have to go through that, like, roulette pipe, as I call it. I know some characters have been worth, like, $50 for that little bundle pack.
Which,
$50 for one character.
Ridiculous.
Maybe a cart, a glider.
And maybe even possibly, what is the
gems.
And not even worth the 50, really.
Yeah. Another problem I have is the increment in which they give you gems, because you know how like a lot of these free-to-play games will give you a lot of things at the beginning to entice you to keep playing and
right.
stuff.
Exactly.
They give you table scraps in this game. Like the most, I guess, that you can get from a cup, like a 3 race and a 1 challenge cup, is 3. And that's not even enough to put into the pipe, because you need 5. It's sort of like throw me a bone for all that I'm doing. I don't think it controls well because there's no medium option, because with the 2 driving styles that they give you, it is either you have more automatic turning but you can't drift, or whenever you turn you're
automatically drifting.
Yeah, there is no in between. So it's sort of like pick your poison from PlayStation.
9 times out of 10 you're picking manual because the manual is supposed to give you more points. And obviously the name of the game at that point is points and placement. And when you manual, obviously Mario Kart, you do get that boost. But at the same time, how in the hell are we supposed to do this if we have to pay for half of your fucking game?
Yeah. And another problem I have is the actual character selection. Because they have, like, the standard Mario Kart extra characters. Like, you have ones like Waluigi, Daisy, Wario, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong. But you also have, in so many cases, it's so bad, and this isn't like a Mario Kart Tour exclusive problem. You have characters, like, you have, like, 7 Mario reskins, and you have 6 Peach reskins. Like, you can play as Fire Mario, or Ice Mario.
Or Donk City Mario, for that.
Yeah, and then they have stuff like, Cupid Baby Peach is their new one for the Valentine's Day one. And then got one of my friends to quit the game. Because he's like, I'm tired of these reskins.
Which I think we all kind of are.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing is, Nintendo also isn't the only one that is at fault for this.
Absolutely.
Game Freak is the other one, too.
So I actually learned that apparently Nintendo is in charge of pricing for Game Freak stuff as well as the Pokemon Company stuff. So in a way, they're also to blame for Pokemon Home being $16 a year when Bank was only $5 a year.
And Home is essentially the same thing as Bank, if I'm understanding, correct?
It roughly does a lot of the same things. Like, Logan, what were you saying about like the free versus premium plan?
So for paying for Pokemon Home, you get, well, first off, right off the bat, you get judging your Pokemon, like seeing their stats. You can't do that free. You get to transfer your Pokemon over from Bank to Home. You have to pay for that. You cannot just do that for free. And the storage increases so much. Like, free is only 30 Pokemon. With the paid, it's 6,000.
Yeah.
That is a significant difference.
That almost seems comical, like how big of a difference it is.
And then the Wonder Box, you can trade 10 Pokemon to just 3. And then with free and then with paid service, you can host trade rooms.
Yeah.
While in free, you can only join them.
Right.
So yeah, there's a very significant, especially with storage, there's a very significant jump. From what boggles my mind is you apparently have to pay to just see stats.
Yeah,
that's dumb. I don't like that at all.
I'm surprised that they didn't like mix it in with the actual Nintendo Online subscription service, because this is like that one comment that I showed you. So you pay $60 for base Sword and Shield, then you pay upwards of like I'd say $15, $30 for the DLC in total. Then this is only the assumption that you have one game. You spend up to, let's just ballpark it and say you want the subscription for a year. You spend $20 on a year of subscription to Nintendo Online, and then you also have to spend $5 for Bank, and then the $16 for Home.
So that's $21 on top of your 20, which is $41 a year going to Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't even guarantee that you're going to use Home or Bank every day, let alone every week.
By the way, I don't think they've disclosed what will happen to Pokemon if you wait too long past your subscription date. With Bank, it was a hit or miss. Like, sometimes your Pokemon will be fine, other times your Pokemon will be completely gone.
Yeah.
So they haven't really said anything about that yet. Just a heads up.
And 30 also is not a lot of Pokemon to really...
That's literally one box.
I was going to say, it's one box, and you are definitely going to want more than 30 Pokemon at your disposal. Especially if they're, very hard Pokemon to get. Yeah. Very rare Pokemon to pop up.
It's also that if you've been carrying these Pokemon for 6 or 7 years, they're your team that you've always been using since, like, Gen 3. You're going to be really upset that, you can't really transfer all those pokes over anymore, and without paying $16 a year, that racks up over time. Just a heads up.
This system was at least just fine in Gen 6 and Gen 7. Why is it that we have access to a new console with new technology, new capabilities, it feels like we are, in a sense, regressing.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely going backwards for sure. It would be different if we originally had to pay $16 a month or $16 a year, and then they came out today and been like, "All right, we're actually switching it up. You're going to now pay $5 a month." That sounds a lot better, I feel, to some of us. I would think, especially if home if home wasn't a thing. Now we don't have that. Obviously, we have the exact opposite. Everybody paid $5, and they got to keep however many Pokemon was it? I never used it, so I'm not 100% sure.
So there's a difference. So Pokemon Bank. Here's my little history lesson, so I can I guess provide context. Pokemon Bank was started like in Gen 6 for Pokemon X and Y, and that allowed you to store your Pokemon from the previous gen on a cloud storage system that you could move to either like X and Y or the Sun and Moon games. So like through Gen 6 and 7. And it was like $5 a year. That was fine. And now they're doing it to where you have to transfer it like to the Switch, or I think there's going to be a mobile app for Home. And Pokemon Home is like the new one. That's the one that they're kind of imploring you to use. Pokemon Bank will still be up, especially because you need to transfer all of your Pokemon from Bank to Home.
But they're also making it sound like the bank is not going to be around much longer from the way that they were making it sound.
It would not surprise me, because this is not the first time that Pokemon, as like a series concept, has introduced something, act like it's the next big thing, and then a generation or two later they try to sweep it under the rug.
And it's sad because, like, I'm assuming that you use it, right?
Yeah.
And so you pay that $5 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really feel like spending another 16 just so you could just transfer them?
No, even like as a big Pokemon fan to me, and I know
it sounds like a ripoff, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I know. Oh, he's complaining about the national decks again, but it's like Zebra said, this is literally going to be the new national decks. Pokemon Home is just going to be the new national decks.
I mean, that's basically what it's going to be, considering how they're not going to keep. Like, it just puts a lot of things in the question for me of what were the reason they took out the national decks in the first place.
Yeah.
Was just to make people pay $16 for it now instead of just putting it in the game. You know, it puts a lot of stuff in the question. Not only that, the announcement of the DLC is just another thing I would like to touch on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Because that, to me, seemed a little scummy, despite the quality of the content that it looks like that we're getting. They announced that 2 months after the release of the game, which there was an interview, I believe, on November 30th with Masuda, who said, "We have no plans of adding any more Pokemon into the game in any capacity." Yet, January 2 months later, they announced this DLC, which I guarantee you, there is no way they did all of that in 2 months.
Absolutely.
There is no way. They were planning that before the game was even out.
Especially if you see all the concept art of the new Gigantamax forms and
there's
the new Regis and stuff.
way.
This was
all planned.
It was planned. It was all planned.
They kept it beneath our noses.
So basically, in that interview, he lied. This was clearly coming, and he lied.
Yeah.
Which is scummy.
Yeah, and not only that, they're adding more. Again, they're adding like about 200 more old pokes into the game, which they said they wouldn't do. So like, and the only thing left is they have 290 that are not in the game.
Yeah. Which will probably come on the next expansion
which
pack.
Hopefully, at this point, I'm like, why not just add the rest of them?
This is the question that I do have now that you mentioned that. So when they said they're going to be doing 200, bringing back 200 old Pokemon, is that for each DLC pack or just in general? Like for the first pack we'll have 100, and then for the second pack we'll have 100, or is there both going to be 200 each? Because by that point we'd have 800 Pokemon. So why the fuck wouldn't you just put in the other 190?
Yeah.
What is so hard about that?
There's a lot of... Again, it just puts my entire trust on Game Freak on the line.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, what's going on here, guys?
It's very sad.
Too many lies. It just feels like I'm being lied to. And it just feels scummy. It just feels like corporate dribble.
And they expect you to be excited about it. Like, guys, look at this new
and
expansion.
A lot of Pokemon fans are. And I can't fault them for enjoying something. But at the same time, I feel like their enjoyment is blinding them to the false truth that they want to see. That the company is ripping them off.
Yep. Since we're on the topic of DLC, there is one other DLC thing I want to touch base. I think we both know what it is. The Byleth DLC that was announced for Smash. We've already kind of talked about this in private, but I figured I'd express my thoughts on it since we're here now. Byleth, to me, feels like a really bad way to close out your DLC pack. Especially for a game that has been highly regarded a lot by critics and fans. I just feel like it's a very... I feel like it'd be better if it opened up DLC Pack 2 rather than close out DLC Pack 1, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're coming off of adding Joker from Persona 5, Hero from Dragon Quest, Banjo and Kazooie, which has been asked for how many years now?
Ever since the first Smash.
Literally the first Smash. Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury / King of Fighters / Garu, Mark of the Wolves, whatever the fuck you know him from. And then they're just like, oh, Fire Emblem, you say? And it's like...
Fire Emblem fans have been getting so spoiled these past few games.
And it's like, I don't mind the Fire Emblem characters, but we have enough of them.
I think the weird thing is that half of the Fire Emblem cast could be removed, and we'd lose nothing of value.
Honestly, between having Chrom and Lucina, Corrin, I think those three alone, you could drop, and Byleth would still be an acceptable character to have into the game, and I wouldn't be so mad about it. What makes me mad is that I feel like Byleth is a waste of a character slot because of those three characters. And like I said, if they weren't in there, it'd be more useful. We could have more people that more fans have wanted, and it would just make more sense. Like, personally, I've been saying this for a while. I've been really wanting to see, like, a Tekken character in Smash. I know I say it all the time, but it's true. It makes sense. You put a fucking costume for Heihachi and what was it? Not Ultimate before, right?
Yeah,
when Ryu got announced or dropped or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like you hinted it, like you want it, but you're not gonna pull the trigger. And the crazy part is that if you can put a King of Fighters character in there and make them crazy ass movements work in that fucking game, you can put a Tekken character and make their crazy inputs work in Smash. Byleth wasn't a bad choice. I just think it was a bad way to close out DLC Pack 1. I think it would have been crazier if they had put in more of a... Like, if Geno closed out Pack 1, I think everybody would have lost their fucking shit. And nobody would complain. And Cuphead is a costume. So they did the same shit with Sans.
Yeah.
And it's like... Or Sans, not Sans. Sans. And it's like, that could have been a character slot. Sans could have been a character slot. But instead, we have Byleth.
I think a weird thing is that for the Fighter Pass, the fifth character of the Fighter Pass, the last one, Sakurai hyped it up like very few people at Nintendo actually know who this character is. And he, like, you know how for these presentations he'd usually have like a wall scroll poster of like who the character is presented, like Banjo and Kazooie, or Hero, or Terry. When the fifth stream for that like first started for Byleth, he didn't have those posters. And then it's like, he's making this big deal about it, like this could be some new, huge revelation for Smash. And it's a Fire Emblem character. A series that Nintendo owns. And has plenty of representation in Smash already.
There's no representation for a couple, like, there's no representation, besides Pac-Man, there's no representation for Bandai Namco. Really, it's just Namco. I can't really say Bandai, because Bandai Namco at this point owns all the anime fighters and stuff.
You want to know what I think? I think by this point, Fire Emblem has more representation in Smash than Zelda.
It does.
It does. I'm also pretty sure it has more representation than, fucking...
Pokemon?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about the same.
Yeah.
Which, I get it. Fire Emblem's popular. But you're trying to tell me that Fire Emblem is just as popular, if not more popular, than Pokemon and Zelda? You're fucking crazy.
I think, and I know a lot of people are going to get on me for saying this, but it's just Sakurai's bias.
Yep.
He can deny it all he wants, but he is a big fan of Fire Emblem.
And that's fine to be a big fan. But just know, if you're going to put the character in there, make sure that your next characters, especially for the second pack, because I'm going to end up buying the second pack, regardless of who's in it. And boy, if it's not worth it, I'm going to be pissed that Byleth got put in it. Because that is a character that should not be, not right now at least, should be in it. And it should have been with it. And just like you were saying, there are other characters from that game besides Byleth. Like, I understand they're the main character. But you were also saying that some of the teachers and shit could have been put of it. And they just aren't. And it's sad.
My thing with like the choices for Fire Emblem characters that could be in Smash and represent something, if it were up to me, it would be Marth, Ike, Robin, and Byleth. And I know, okay, you know what? Maybe throw Corrin in there too, because even though Corrin is a bad character from a bad game, he's still original.
No Roy?
Well, I was actually about to say the same thing. No Roy?
Roy...
This is where the clone situation comes into play.
So I can say off the bat that for as much as I like Lucina, her and Crumb could have been Marth ults. Roy
agree.
is a bit tricky, and I feel like if you absolutely had to, at least give him a slightly different moveset, because you can think of other characters like Luigi and Ganondorf that are either at one point clones or were heavily inspired by other characters. I feel like for Roy, you should at least put that level of effort into it, where they're like a semi-quarter partial clone. But just, if you can't do that, then I just wouldn't suggest having Roy.
Even then, like, especially before Roy really changed from his melee.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all of his tilts are completely different.
Right.
All his specials were a little bit different. Up air was different.
Yeah, I mean, they're very different, and I really appreciate that.
They tried
to be honest.
to
be honest with you, I think as unique as Corrin is, I thought that was a little bit like, why?
It's such a weird thing because Corrin was just met with a lot of groans, and it's at the same time, like, at least from what I've been told from one of my friends who's a big Fire Emblem fan, Fates was just a bad game, and Corrin was just a bad character. So it's like, on one hand, completely unique moveset, except for the counter, but on the other hand, bad character.
Yeah. I don't really get picking Corrin. Corrin, like, I usually agree with Sakurai's picks because from all the different games from Fire Emblem characters we're from, like, they're usually like pretty decently famous, unique ones.
Yeah.
And Corrin was the one that was like, why? Why is this character in here?
That one wasn't the other. That was one, and another DLC character that I full of. I'm not gonna lie, Hero was another one. But the more that I see people play Hero, the more I kind of understand why he's in it. And now I sit here and look at Byleth, I'm like, why? Why? So maybe with time, it will show.
Because, like, if there's characters Fire Emblem-wise that I would have, it would definitely be Marth, Ike, Roy, Robin, and Byleth. And I think those are the 5 I would be okay with, and maybe Corrin.
Quick question.
Those are the 6 or 5 that I would be okay with.
The girl, the blue-haired girl from Fates, the one that's like she's one of the main characters. She was one of the big marketing pushes.
Yeah,
she's
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You are the seas
I know.
running waves. I'm surprised they didn't pick her, for a playable character.
Because she's not the main character.
True.
That's the only reason.
And Sakurai picks main characters.
Yeah, Sakurai picks the characters that are like the icon of the series.
Which in this case, if we were talking about Tekken, it probably would be either Kazuya, Jin, or Heihachi. It would be one of those 3.
I mean, it's just how Smash Brothers works.
Is that why Lindis has never been playable and is always assist trophy status? Because she's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because usually, like, the reason I think over time is, like, you know, he branched off from not only just Mario, but like Peach and Yoshi.
Yeah.
Is because, well, they're pretty famous Mario characters that everyone loves.
Right.
And they kind of have their own unique thing going on. So, like,
yeah,
they were picked to be characters. That's mainly the reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Zelda, Sheik is a character because it was a move for Zelda.
Yeah.
Like, that's why Sheik's in the game. A very unique move. Loved it. Thought it was really cool. But that's the reason why Sheik is in the game. Not because Sheik is a unique character that stands out. It was just a move for Zelda.
Do you think Sakurai, at least in terms of Zelda, do you think Sakurai's only concerned about representing the people who hold the Triforce and he doesn't give a crap about anyone else?
Well,
because we have Link, Zelda, Ganondorf.
Yeah. Well, again, if there's any character I'd definitely remove, it's Young Link.
Yeah.
Young Link was dumb.
Young Link isn't necessary.
Because Toon Link exists now.
Exactly.
So, like,
which is Young Link.
Like, I have my issues with this game's iteration of Link. And Young Link kind of fills that void of old Link.
Right.
But
It's not necessary.
It's not necessarily because like there's certain things they could have done with normal Link.
Yeah.
To make him more like old Link. Like instead of actually grabbing his hand, make it like with the tablet in Breath of the Wild is like his grapple.
Yeah.
So like it's a lot of why is this here?
Yeah. But you know what else brings up questions too?
Whatever.
Blizzard, being the way that they are, them little guys.
All right, moving on to Blizzard now.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's talk about that Overwatch 2. Logan.
Well, Overwatch 2 and the new update.
Can I
Of
talk?
course.
Can I?
Go ahead.
So this is a GameStop story, but I had a mom and a dad asking me when I was like, "Hey, welcome to GameStop. What can I do for you?" And they said, "Do you have Overwatch 2? It's all my son wants for Christmas." And I'm like, "Oh,
It's not even out yet.
Yeah, we don't even know when it's gonna be out yet."
Yeah.
Blizzard was like, "It'll be out whenever."
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. Blizzard is usually really good about giving us release dates. When Overwatch 2 got announced, didn't really give us any ideas.
Let me tell you, as old Overwatch being one of my favorite games ever, I have mixed emotions on the second one, and honestly, some certain things done with the first one right now. I've had a long history of a love-hate relationship with Overwatch. In considering starting with the patch that made
Keep talking. I'll be right back, though.
made Mercy change forever, which was the patch where they got rid of mass res and they gave Diva missiles. And I think to me that wasn't the beginning of the end, but that was the patch.
Yeah.
That was the patch for me that I was like, I'm done. I don't want to play this game anymore, because I felt like, to me, they were changing things about the game that I felt were harming the game, making unnecessary. They were taking out the skill of the game, making characters a lot less unique and interesting, and making characters way too focused on, like, can do everything. Like, Diva, to me, before she got her missiles, was a character which could just dive in. And her point was to dive in and spread all the characters out so their team could come in and get rid of them.
Can I ask you? Sorry.
With missiles, she would just come in and blast everyone out of the way, just explode them all.
Farrah?
No, Diva, when she got missiles.
Diva, yeah.
When she got missiles. That's why it was the beginning of the end of that patch was Mercy. And when Mercy got rid of mass res, that was a blow to me, and I was like, no, I can't agree with that. Because how they were replacing it, I was like, this is going to be broken. I was calling that very soon after, it was just a move now to just res one single person every 20 seconds. And I was like, that's going to be broken.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened. It broke the game, and Mercy was picked 90% of every game. Again, I don't agree with the direction Blizzard is taking Overwatch.
Right.
I think they're focusing too much on making heroes useful in every map, rather than making certain heroes good on certain maps and not good on
which
other
allows
maps.
more people to be played.
Yeah, it allows for more diversity. And it's just I don't agree with the casualization of the game.
I had an actual question.
In certain ways.
Right. Yeah. I had a question, and this is coming from someone who's never touched Overwatch in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that? And again, this is like a big, I guess, stupid question, I guess you could call it. But do you think that Blizzard has listened to a lot of, I guess, the complaints of like characters too OP, please nerf, that are like half meme, half serious?
In a way, yes, but also in a way, no.
I feel like, yes, they have been listening. However, they don't always agree with the community. What I will give Blizzard is that when they find a complaint is dumbfounded or not valid, or invalid or not valid, they will take that into consideration. If it's not valid, they'll be like, we're not doing that.
But if there's like evidence to support the claim that they have,
they'll try.
They'll try a solution that seems fitting.
Which, with the most recent update, they've announced they're going to follow the meta, patch more for the meta and not for casuals anymore. Which, again, that's decent. I don't like the way they're doing it, which is through champion hero pools. Not a fan of that at all. Because it'll just literally change a new meta every 2 months.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of that. I think that, again, I really think that harms the game rather than improves it. And there's just a lot of things about Overwatch 1, especially right now. Despite it being, I'm very glad Blizzard is still keeping an eye on it and patching it and
Supporting it.
Supporting it. The direction they're taking it is, it's getting better. It's exactly the opposite of what I wanted that game to go, which is super dumbing it down, making it easy to pick up and play for people, but also not really giving a lot of like skill to the game,
Right.
Which is unfortunate. They didn't separate the casuals and the competitors out very well, and that's why I think that game's quite toxic.
Right. Yeah.
But hopefully with Overwatch 2 and the single player content coming,
yeah.
That might help a lot with figuring out what certain players are like for like casuals and competitors. Mm-hmm. They'll kind of spread out a little bit better and allow for a lot less toxicity between these two camps.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also hard now because that wasn't in the game at the start, and now that's kind of all blended together.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of, again, if there's anything in Overwatch that I would love to see, like things for casuals to do besides competition, is modes. New modes for casuals to play, rather than dumbing down the mechanics of normal Overwatch.
Skill gaps, essentially.
Yeah, make a skill gap. Make a decent one. Because there was a skill gap in Overwatch for a time.
There was.
And then they, every so patches, they would get rid of it. Mm-hmm. They would just, and I never agreed with it. I still don't, really. And I really hope over time they revert it back. Or they put some of that skill back into the game that has been lost over time. Especially Overwatch 2. I really want to play Overwatch again. But every time I do, I'm
in the same boat. Like, I want to, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of the ways that I play aren't able to be played anymore. Like, I can't pick up Soldier 76, do the things I did, and expect me to just, actually win a game. And then, the same thing goes with Tracer. You can't just pick up Tracer now and just be like, all right, let's win a game. And it doesn't work like that. Hanzo can't do the same thing.
If there's anything I'm really upset about that Overwatch keeps doing,
this is Ryan parties when I stopped playing.
This is a hot take, a not popular opinion, because I think Overwatch really needs to stop with more heroes
and focus
more on modes and balance and other things. I think we have enough heroes. I don't think we need
easily enough.
Honestly, I think we were pretty much done after Orisa. To me,
honestly, you want me to be honest with you?
What?
After Ana, I think you were done.
Because even then, if you want me to go to my extremist, I think after Sombra we were done.
Sombra was after Ana, right?
No, it was Ana and it was Ana and Sombra.
It was
Ana, Sombra, Doomfist, I believe.
Honestly, I'd be okay with after Doomfist. Because Sombra, I can understand her use in the game.
Yeah.
Ana obviously makes sense.
Because it was
Doomfist
it was
kind of okay.
I believe it was Ana, Sombra, Doomfist, Orisa. And after Orisa, I was like, I'm done. This is good.
You don't need any more.
Yeah.
I honestly thought they were going to stop with Orisa. But then they put out, what was her name?
I can't remember if it was Moira or it was...
I think it was Moira.
Or Ashe. It was one of the two.
Moira, Ashe, and then that weird hamster guy they just
It was Moira, Ashe, the hamster ball, and then it was the new guy, which is the weird floating dude, and he's super OP. And Brigitte. I forgot about Brigitte, too. And Brigitte broke that game.
Is that how you pronounce that name?
Yeah.
It's not Bridget?
No, it's Brigitte.
I always thought it was Bridget, I'm not going to lie.
And they broke... every character they seem to add is not very well balanced.
Yeah, it just seems to be more broken by the minute.
Either broken or just not very useful when they originally come out. Mm-hmm. And again, I just want them to focus less on new people for things to for new characters for people to play, and more on modes and different ways for characters to play the game.
Yeah,
which is a good thing to focus on.
Which is what I want. I want more modes. I want more ways for people to play the characters they like to play.
Well, they had it was like an arcade mode.
Oh
if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken, which
the
is kind of
arcade
what
mode,
that is.
Exactly, the arcade mode
But it
was
doesn't
a
have
good
enough modes.
Exactly, it was a good step in the right direction. The other problem was everything in the arcade mode was not single player.
That's
a lot of
also
it was multiplayer. And again, I understand Overwatch
It's
is
a very
a multiplayer game, but I would like co-op modes.
Yeah.
Like those events they would always have, the hordes and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
was
thought
fun.
that was cool.
It was
like,
fun.
That to me, wanted more of that, but in different directions. Maybe like a puzzle I want more co-op, like for different ways to play. Yeah, and that's just, I think, the main thing that Overwatch lacks is more ways to play.
Right.
Because then you get all these different kinds of people that want to play the game a certain way and all in one shop, which is the normal mode, and then it causes a big riff and all that toxic back and forth, which now I think is going to stick, unfortunately, because it's just there now.
Right.
But, I want this game to succeed. Hopefully over time it does. Despite me still really not liking the direction the game goes, I can admire Blizzard's tenacity to support it and keep up with it and really, really try to keep this game going. Because I really appreciate that.
But when it's time for things to be, it's time for things to be.
Yeah.
Even League of Legends was like that for a while.
I know.
They would just add champs and add champs and add champs, but wouldn't really fix anything until the champ actually came out. Now, we're not getting a champ till like 4 or 5 months after a new champ has came out, and they're focusing more on patching.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about, because that's what the game needs to be.
What I really admire right now in League of Legends is how diverse a lot of champion picks are in the LCS.
That is very true. I agree
There's
with
a
that.
lot of diversity.
A lot of champs that you would never thought you would ever see in LCS.
Exactly.
Look at York, for example.
Yeah.
No one ever thought you would ever see a York get played in LCS until they did the big-ass rework for him. Yeah. And now he gets played almost... It's like once every 3
because
games.
I remember back in the day, it was always certain champions all the time.
You knew exactly who they were going to pick. If that one champ got picked, you knew exactly
like it was
who
always
was
like
going to pick.
it was like Zed and then
Yasuo.
Yeah, it was always
Darius.
certain characters that were always picked every time.
And now it's like you don't know who they're going to pick.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's really nice to not know.
Yeah, because it feels good. It feels good. Just like how the new set guide that just came out. I haven't played him. I want to. He looks fun. And it's been a while since I've actually said a champion looks fun to play. I think the last champ I said that to was Pike, and then before that was Ornn. Which, if you remember Ornn, Ornn was a fun character to play at first. Well, you kind of started using Ornn, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit.
But
I use more Kled, but
more Kled, that's correct. But Ornn was always a fun character to play. I thought, not Kled, Ornn. Ornn was a fun character to play when he first came out, and then they nerfed him to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he became unviable. They've tried balancing him out again, trying to make him more playable, but there's still a piece of me that just feels like he doesn't have the potential he used to have.
I'm still upset what they did to Cho'Gath. I'm still so upset. I'm so upset what they did to my boy.
I'm upset what they did with Dr. Mundo, but I gotta live with it.
Yeah. I really hope they fix his E better. That needs a hard fix.
You'll get better with it. It just takes a lot of time.
I'm done, dude. I can't.
Well, I mean, they did something similar to Yi, and it kind of made me a little with his E. Because if you remember, when you activate it, it would do the true damage. Mm-hmm. Now it doesn't do true damage anymore. It does just more base damage.
I mean, I guess.
Which is great, but like the E was great for armor penetration builds back in the day.
Yeah. So
when you build like Yamu's Ghostblade, things like that, it was perfect. You could shred a Cho'Gath in like 5 hits. And you don't have to worry about anything. Now, I have to build more than just Yamu's to really do anything. Yeah. And it's kind of annoying because I'm sacrificing attack speed, which is what, he kind of thrives on, and I have to go with the more lethality builds, which are okay, I guess. But, it is what it is. Speaking of League of Legends, did you read the thing I sent to you a couple days ago about my account getting banned permanently?
Oh, you what? You got banned permanently?
Oh, it's lifted now. Someone hacked into my account on Friday, apparently, and was playing games under my account. Ranked games, too, when I add you. Playing Draven, a champ I never use. Mm-hmm. 1, 2 of the 3. And then when I got on Monday, because my cousin wanted to play, he says, I logged in and I said I got permanently banned for third-party programs.
Oh.
Which meant hacking.
Yeah.
So I went on League's support thing and I told them, I was like, look, I wasn't on. You can check the IP addresses. Clearly, something's not right here. They got back to me yesterday and they lifted the ban.
That's good.
So I told them you could track the IP, and this is the person they were playing with for the past couple games. You could tell this is not my home IP because my home IP was still available from the 13th when I last played, and they were like, "Yep, everything checks out. You're good. We apologize, but we highly advise that you change your password. We sent you a change password thing." I was like, "Thanks, appreciate it." So shout out to Riot support actually for doing their fucking job. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, I just want Overwatch to succeed. I want to come back. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And
now the other elephant in the room. Hey, you guys buy that Warcraft 3? Did you guys see the downgrade supposedly that it was? Ooh. Did you guys see that you can't refund your money? Or they're having quote unquote issues with their refund? Logan, what countries is it illegal in to not be able to refund something?
Australia, I believe. I believe it's violating Australian law.
Man, hey Australians, I apologize for any Australians watching. If you can't refund your Warcraft 3, on behalf of America, we'll show you our money to make you feel better. I'm just kidding. But, honestly, Blizzard just kind of did the same thing that Nintendo did, but on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
On a much larger scale.
They dropped the ball.
They dropped the ball, practically robbed you of the thing, of the game, and, what is it? They pretty much were like, hey, you guys want this game? Yeah, fuck you. That's literally what they did. And the biggest complaint I think I have is, like, if you're... Honestly, remastering a game is not as hard as people make it sound. From what I understand, it's you port the game over, increase the resolution, maybe tweak a couple of things like bugs or maybe... That should be it. That's really all a remaster is when you think about it. Right or wrong, gentlemen?
Right. Agreed.
Right.
So why is it that when they remaster this game... Would you stop? Sorry, Logan's playing with a Roxas figure and is twisting the head like it's in a vice.
My boy!
And it's like, stop. What has he done? Would you stop?
We got Warcraft to discuss.
Right. And
I know, we're discussing Warcraft.
Yeah, you're discussing Warcraft while you're destroying Kingdom Hearts 3. Anyways, so it became... A lot of people were very upset. If you go on the subreddit for Warcraft 3, a lot of people have a lot of complaints about it. Well, you
I'm
stop.
listening. I'm listening.
Keep
talking.
I am.
You're getting so you get easily distracted.
Yes, I do. ADHD does that.
Do I keep this in or add this blooper? Yes or no?
You
Up to
keep
you.
this shit.
Okay.
Up to you.
We are raw, unfiltered. No,
not true. Edit out some things out. Or
course.
whatever you feel is important, edit out. But continue on. What were you saying?
no. We are raw and unfiltered.
No, or disagree.
No comment.
Keep going.
Anyways, but it's sad because Blizzard really just took the money and ran. If you really think about it, you were saying how in the user created modes and maps and stuff.
So
like that,
you know how old Warcraft works,
Yeah.
right? How you create your own maps in Map Maker and your own custom make games
Correct.
and stuff. Now Blizzard is not allowing that. Well, you can do it, but they own the content you make, just so they don't have another Dota 2 incident.
which is bullshit.
Which is basically because someone made the idea for Dota 2 in
Warcraft
Maker, and Valve was like, "Hey, this is a good idea. Let's sturdy this on over and use it as a game."
And that's how Dota 2 was created.
Yeah, and Blizzard doesn't want that happening again, so they're like, "Okay, the content you make is ours now," and I think that's complete BS.
Because it allows... Basically, it's saying that, hey, your creation is now our creation.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's sad because that's not right to the person who is trying to get... Say like you, for instance, who is into game design and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Game theory, things like that. You want to make maps.
Oh, yeah.
You want to build a game map, right? You enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
How would you feel if your work got taken by a big-ass company and you got no credit for it?
I'd be really upset.
So how do you think all them players feel?
Probably very upset.
So, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's like if Nintendo, when we make Mario Maker, took one of our levels and put it in the next Mario game. and give us no credit for it whatsoever.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And we'd be fucking irate.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I feel like that should not be the case, and if you're going to do that, you need to at least provide something for their troubles. Whether it's, I wouldn't say payment, maybe a cosmetic or something, or, maybe if you've included some elements in it, you should get some type of reward for it. Honestly, it is bullshit. It is complete bullshit.
Dumb.
It's dumb.
It's them keeping content like that so they can take the ideas from people creators.
Yeah,
and I don't like
the
that.
easiest. If you can't see that, you are part of that problem.
I think it's dumb.
I
do not agree with
even the diehard fans of Blizzard can see that, which is crazy.
Yeah, but
looks like this Blizzard's about to peter out with all the bullshit they've been making.
Honestly, that's all I got on Blizzard. That's all I have on Nintendo.
Is that all today, folks?
Well, not quite. There's one other thing. Since it is the new year, we do have a couple of games that we're looking forward to in the next couple months, and I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts and what your guys' games were that you're looking forward to. Maybe some DLC that you guys are looking forward to. I know, Evan, you were playing the Remind DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
How's that been going for you?
I am loving it, but I do have a few things to say, and I know this will get me a bit of flack. I like it. It's very good. It further cements 3 as my favorite game in the series. However, I don't know how to feel about the fact that the Limit Cut episode feels like it was made specifically more for speedrunners and critical mode runners.
Limit Cut? Are you talking about the thing where if
the 13 bosses? Yeah, like the organization data. I'm going to go. Then again, it was me on my first playthrough or my attempt. I was going through it on my critical mode file, even though I was at level 99. I'm going back, doing an easy file, making sure I got like everything that I would need,
like the collectibles and stuff like that.
And I'm gonna try the DLC on easy because I at least want to experience it and get the trophies and stuff.
Right, of course.
But like, a lot of the DLC is good in my opinion, and it actually does some really, really, really cool things. And I'll talk about that in a second. But Limit Cut, I feel like I feel like casual audiences, like casual Kingdom Hearts fans, are not going to enjoy it because there's a lot of cool things that the bosses do. They're good bosses. They're just very difficult, and I know that'll instantly turn a fair amount of people away. Because I know people who only play Kingdom Hearts on like beginner or standard, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right, you play as you see fit.
Yeah, and all I will say is that Kingdom Hearts 3 has done more with Mickey as a character in the past 10 years than Disney itself has done in the past 10 years.
Which is crazy to hear, because you know what Disney has done the past 10 years more than any other company? Messed around with Marvel. Marvel is the new Mickey for this generation.
Well, that's not true. They've become a monopoly.
Yeah. That is also true.
All I will say, and I'm not trying to get too spoilerish because it's still a relatively new DLC, but like, do you know? Okay, who's played or seen the cutscenes for Metal Gear Solid 4?
I have not.
Okay, do you remember the scene where you're going through that like hallway, like that microwave hallway, like it's one guy and like there's a bunch of people at him? That's what Mickey does in this game. And the fact that he stands up and continues to fight and has to fight all of those Xehanort vessels by himself, it made me cry. I think that part made me cry the most because it's like Nomura's doing something for Mickey as a character. He's not being used just as like the symbol of a brand. He feels like a character.
He feels like a part of the actual series.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
No, I get that completely. That's good.
And it's a complete contrast to the stuff that Disney portrays him in, because while those new shorts, like the 2013 and onward shorts from Disney, are good, they're really good, that's it, really, that Disney has truly done with Mickey in the past 10 years. 3's DLC is very good. I'm having a lot of fun with the data greeting where you can pose the characters in any way you want and take photos of them and the funny situations with them.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're enjoying that.
Yeah.
So, what other games are you looking forward to?
I got Final Fantasy VII Remake on pre-order.
Which is, may I say, when you told us that, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of shocked.
Yeah.
Considering you haven't played the original that much. But you know enough about it.
I know, yeah.
You vicariously played it through Logan.
Yeah. And I've played at least the first hour. And I'm going to play a bit more of it because I want to get more of an idea on it.
Which is good, you know. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, is there anything else that you're looking forward to? Animal Crossing, maybe?
I'm not an Animal Crossing guy.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of weird because it's like I want games to have some form of end. I don't sort of like it where it's just, I guess, I don't know if I say simulator is the right word, but it's just, I kind of like that idea of getting to a credit screen, if that makes any sense. Even if there's after-game content, which I love, it's just like...
You did it.
Yeah.
You feel a sense of, like, achievement or accomplishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That's how I felt about the Batman series. Like, I love all the after-game stuff, but boy, did it feel good to actually beat the game story.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is coming out. Oh, yeah. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be good. Resident Evil 3 Remake is going to be good. But SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, it's going to be a masterpiece.
When's that come out?
Sources have said May 24th.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a bad release date. Nothing that I know of is coming out in May, and Cyberpunk will now be coming out till when? November?
September.
No, close enough.
Yeah.
So Logan, games that you were looking forward to?
How about let you go first, real quick?
Okay. So like Evan, I'm looking forward towards the Final Fantasy VII remake. Final Fantasy VII is just one of those games that I've always had a place in my heart. Just like 9, I've always had a place in my heart. I think it looks amazing. It's honestly, visually, it's stunning. And to think that they're already working on the second part of this remake is holy shit.
And I think it's going to go faster than Part 1 did because they have a lot of the assets
already built.
Yeah.
Right. So between character models and some of the open world, I guess, because once you leave Midgar, you're in open world.
And that, regarding the assets, like a lot of them being in place for Part 2 onward, hopefully not too much onward, but that's what I also think, and kind of related to Square, that when they do release Kingdom Hearts 4, it will take them no longer than 3 years, in my opinion, to make it.
You really think so?
Because they have a lot of the assets for Unreal Engine 4 from Kingdom Hearts 3. And they said, well, Tetsuya Nomura and his team have said, that was among the biggest challenges of making 3 because, from like Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, 2 got to use about 30% of 1's assets, like models and certain layouts and stuff, or like Heartless and stuff.
Right.
And the thing is, everything from Kingdom Hearts 3 had to be built from the ground up. Nothing could be imported from the previous games.
Well, yeah, because all uses different graphic engines.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, since we have a lot of these character models and stuff programmed, these movesets for characters, now like Riku, Aqua, Roxas, and Kairi, I think that production will go a lot smoother. And I'm not definitely not saying that it's going to be like exactly like 3 with 1 or 2 new things. Like, they're probably going to make up, like, they're going to continue to build off the basic Kingdom Hearts combat formula, but it's just like the assets and the general flow of combat is already built, so it won't take time to be like, let's build this and then let's reconstruct it again.
Yeah. The other game I'm really looking forward to is Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed 2016 Doom a lot more than I thought I was going to. Just the idea of a run and gun shooter where finishing moves are a part of it, and the story was actually pretty good. Like for a shooter, it was. And it's primarily just based on violence and violence really only. It was pretty good. So Doom Eternal, now its story actually looks bigger than it was in the last game. It has a lot more elements of, ripping and tearing, as they say. It looks good. I'm excited. I'm happy that the release date actually got pushed up, because last I heard it was supposed to get released at the end of March. It's now somewhere in like the middle to early March now. So it's good to hear. I'm really happy. And, when you pre-order, you get Doom 64, which I was like, oh, that's awesome. Nice. So that's cool. And then, let's see what else was there. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I think of all the games that I've listed so far, that's definitely my number one. Just because of how much I loved Resident Evil 2 Remake and how much it sat with me and has such a good place in my heart, and how much time I put into it, how much for a single player only game that was, it was phenomenal. And it's it really
influenced you?
Yeah, it really gave me more love to Resident Evil than I ever had before, and it felt great. So the way that the 3 remake looks, it just looks amazing. And now that we're going to get that, what is it, Project Resistance for multiplayer, I'm not too concerned about that. I'll give it a shot. I will give it a shot. But I'm more focused on 3's remake and having Jill, fly through a fucking restaurant window to run away from Nemesis, and Nemesis crash into the RPD building. And to be honest with you, I think the 3 remake was kind of already partially finished, because the first section of that game is literally the RPD building. Therefore, that would mean that they already have an RPD building made, so they can just reuse the old one. If I'm not correct?
Yeah.
So that's like 30% of the game right there. So really, they just have to build the rest of it. Just like how you were saying for Kingdom Hearts 1 going to Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
Same situation here. So it's cool that they were able to do that. And Nemesis looks amazing. I mean, you've seen what he looks like, right? He looks good.
Yeah, he looks great.
He looks great. And I really hope that they continue with these remakes. And you know what? I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna say it. I hope that Resident Evil Code Veronica gets a remake. You want to know why?
Why?
Because that game has a very terrible love story that really needs some patching. And that is the first game where we get to see Wesker turn into that batshit zombie that we know from 5. With all his strange movements and all that crazy shit. And then Persona 5 Royal. I'm really looking towards that game. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have not played the first one, but I've been watching Evan play it, so I'm kind of vicariously playing it through him.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm very looking forward towards Royal. And depending on what consoles it will come out for, I might pick it up, honestly.
Yeah.
So hopefully that will be good. Let's see, anything else I can think of? There's no... Oh, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I haven't bought it yet. I know it's out, but I'm probably going to end up buying it next week. That'll probably be when I get it. I'm actually, from what I've been seeing, it looks incredibly fun, and it looks good. I really can't think of anything else that I want right now. So unless Logan brings up a couple that
I mean, for me, Persona 5 Royal is at the top of that list immediately, because Persona 5 is fucking great, and any extra content to Persona 5 is an immediate buy for me. Like, I just, I gotta play it again. And this time, I'm gonna 100% it again with all the content. I'm gonna do it. After that, I still need to buy Iceborne for the PC, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, because I know what's gonna happen when I do is I'm gonna sit there in my house and I'm gonna stare at a computer screen for hours upon hours, grinding out monsters to get armor. And, because it's Monster Hunter, that's what you do.
Right.
After that, the only real games I'm looking forward to AAA-wise is Animal Crossing, New Horizons, in March?
Yeah, March 20th.
Yeah. And Last of Us Part 2 in May.
Man, I thought I got delayed to April 20th.
No, I think that was the Final Fantasy VII remake.
No,
April 10th is the 7 remake.
No, I thought Animal Crossing did.
I don't
No,
think...
it's still March.
Yeah.
No, because remember they delayed it because of the people, the workers or whatever.
That was delayed before.
It was meant to come out in 2019, but then they're like, we're
Right,
delaying
and
it.
it's supposed to get released on 420. I legit remember that because there was a bunch of memes about it.
No, it's 320.
It's 320.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's 4.
All right, I'm going to look it up right now.
I know it'd be great to have a game come out on Funny Weed Day.
No, I swear to God, I really thought that's what it. That's really
March 20th, my friend.
really.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
But as I was saying, because Animal Crossing, it's Animal Crossing. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on. I'm going to go farming, or not farming, but get all the fruit trees and then make my town look nice and try to grind out for villagers that I want, like Wolfgang. And then I'm going to hang out with my boys as we go fishing, because I mean that's just the best part about Animal Crossing. Yeah, make your house look nice and go fishing. Last of Us Part 2. Looking forward to that.
Does that come out this year?
Yeah. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima if it comes out. I really want.
That was another one.
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
That's another one. Yeah, that
it's
looks
like
good.
It's like Japanese Assassin's Creed, and I'm down. I'm down. And then the really big one that I am dying to play is Cyberpunk 2077 in September.
So you're really not. So you're not excited
is
for a remake of Resident Evil or Final Fantasy
or SpongeBob?
Well, Final Fantasy VII, like, I'm definitely want to experience it after beating 7.
Yeah.
And how much I really enjoyed playing 7. Like, I 100% that game as much as I could.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know if it's hit me just yet. We'll see as time goes on. As I just like old turn-based combat.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. Final Fantasy in my mind is the turn-based stuff, and not a big fan of modern Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy. But 15 is good though. 15 is good. And then for Resident Evil 3, again, Resident Evil 2 remake, as good as it is, left me with a bit of a sour taste at the end coming out of it due to lacking content in the same uniqueness that the original had. So I'm not super down for a remake of the third one.
Do you at least want to play it?
I do want to at least play it because it might still hold some water because it doesn't have the same unique and interesting stuff that Resident Evil 2 had. Or at least the original Resident Evil 3 doesn't have that same unique
stuff. Yeah, of course not. Resident Evil 3 is going to feel more of like a shooter rather than a horror.
Yeah, so
that's the only thing that you need to keep that in mind.
So we'll see, maybe. But other than that, I'm not super jazzed. I'll definitely probably watch people play Resi 3.
You can watch me play Resi 3.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm looking forward to Maneater, which is basically the Jaws game from PS2.
Is that the?
It's like the RPG shark game.
The one that we saw on the Game Awards. E3, that we were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it looks cool, and I really want to play it.
I did actually like that. Yeah.
12 Minutes, which is a game like a weird puzzle mystery game about trying to find out what the heck's going on in 12 minutes. You have 12 minutes to figure out the game, or you have to repeat the 12 minutes again.
That's weird.
It's weird, but it sounds cool as crap.
Yeah.
Carry On, which is basically the reverse thing of the monster. With instead of being the guy hunting the monster, you are the monster killing all the people in the science lab.
Yes.
And that is cool. I really like that idea. And then there is a weird one that I'm actually really interested to see what it does, which is Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, I'm interested to see.
I want to know what it does and how it does it, and see what it brings to the table. I'm really excited. I kind of want to know what's going on Watch Dogs Legion. Bad. And that was the big surprise one for me, is Watch Dogs Legion at the end. I really, really want to know where that's going. And I think that might be it.
Double check.
Yeah, because I follow a lot of indies.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
It's always... Oh! I guess another one I am kind of looking forward to coming out is the possibility of the remake of System Shock 1.
Oh, yeah, I do remember hearing
totally
about that.
Down for that. Vampire, if Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 comes out this year, definitely. The remake or the definitive version of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, again, probably going to get it if it does. And then... Factorio is coming out of of early access this year, and God knows how much I love Factorio. Holy fuck!
Isn't it just almost like Stardew Valley, but it's more?
Well, think of kind of like a roller coaster tycoon, like a tycoon game.
Okay.
But a factory.
You
make assembly lines. That's literally the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That sounds pretty nifty.
It's cool, and I really love it. And it's coming out of early access, and I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, that's about it. I mean, there's other smaller ones on here too, but nothing major. Nothing major. Guilty Gear Strive, I guess, is another nice.
Mention. I guess I should have said that because I forgot.
Little Nightmares 2 is another.
I enjoyed the first Little Nightmares. I thought Little Nightmares 1 was
But I mean, other than that, Brave Default 2, another one.
Well, we'll see.
Well, again, I'm curious. I want to know where it's going. But other than that, that's pretty much about it.
I think I speak for everybody here when I say thanks for sticking around and giving us another listen. Again, I know the upload schedule is fucking insane and whack, and we apologize, and we're going to try and get better with it this year. We've had a lot going on, and not really a whole bunch of news to really talk about. We'll see what we can do. We'll try and figure out an upload schedule. I'm pretty sure one of us will try and make something. or give an update on it. But we do appreciate your guys' time and your guys' ears and listening to us, and most of all, your support.
Yes.
This is Luke, and that's Evan, and that's Logan, and I think that's it. We're signing off.
Yes.
Later, boys.
Later.